It's time.
All right, we back. Kinda. I mean, we haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah,
We've been here the entire time. A couple weeks off. No, I mean, last week we were here. We just had kind of some short snippets of some stuff.
Here, physically.
Yeah.
Well, maybe mentally. I don't know.
We were playing in the elements.
Yeah. We were out in the elements.
Okay. The weather changed on us.
It did.
That was brutal.
It was really nice after we got done.
It was so nice. I was like, hey, guys, you want to go for another quick 9? Like, it's beautiful out.
Maybe 18, maybe 27.
Oh, my Lord.
Did we cancel the first 9?
That first 9 was...
That doesn't count.
Just wasn't good.
There was only one of us that played well, and he's not here.
He is not here.
He got worse as the elements got better, though.
That is true.
It was weird.
Like, significantly worse.
Yeah. No, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Ryan,
Let's see.
I think you're supposed to be doing a recap or something.
All right, I'll start with a recap. So this week, what we're going to do, since we talked a little bit in snippets of the Masters the week before, we are going to jump right into a recap of the RBC Heritage. From there, we are going to go into the Zurich. It's a little bit different format this week, so we'll kind of explain that once we get to it. Got some shitty shots to make up. I know I have at least one. So we'll
at least.
That's what I said. At least one. So we'll hit on those. That's about the thing. That's about the thing that we're gonna recap the most before the RBC Heritage. After that, I mean, we got some news. I'm trying to think of what big news has really popped up in sports lately.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of small snippets.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff leading up to the draft.
The what?
Actually, a lot of nil stuff going on in all sports. Big nil stuff today in the golf world. We'll save that.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Little tease.
There's been a ton of that. Buying kids.
Jordan Spieth on Easter.
He's risen.
Guys, the tweets about his wife holding their kid like a football in his head going like this was
like
shaking baby syndrome.
Okay, so like all of those came out literally. So I'm watching live.
Yeah.
And she takes off, and I am like, whoa, like he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And the kid's head is doing
that. Yeah.
And I'm like, she is obviously a first-time mother.
Clearly.
Like, she's more excited about the money she just won than her 6-month-old kid.
Right.
And like she gets there, and then they keep flashing back to her after the hug, and the kid is hysterical, crying.
Yeah.
And she's trying to like jump around more. And maybe that worked. Like, I mean, I understand like the whole rocking thing, but I'm like, you just shook the shit out of your kid. Like, your kid does not want to be moved anymore right now.
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to parent for her instead of like solving the, like I was solving parenting issues, not celebrating.
So
like,
what you're saying is I need to take notes as to what not to do.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Just tell Carly, don't go running with your child that as a football.
Right.
Just don't do it.
Well, it was like,
Or hold their head.
almost, like I think she had one of those, like the front holders on. The problem was like we didn't have the head in.
Head was not protected.
Make sure the head's in.
She did not have all points of contact securing the ball.
Got to cover the nose of the football, and she just wasn't.
You just can't. You can't.
That was like breadbasket. Like
it was bad. It was bad. But Twitter blew up.
Trip or drop the kid, but I'm like, where are you in such a hurry to go? Like
you already won. It's over.
Let Jordan come to you. Like you've got the kid. Like no one is going to like be like, oh, I can't believe she didn't run out there with the kid. Like, no, you're the first person on national television to bobblehead your kid onto a green. Like,
Speaking
will
of
be there forever.
Speaking of waiting for Jordan Spieth, though, I thought it was super cool. Did you see his interaction with all like the kids and the young fans? So they're all asking for autographs. For those of you who didn't see it, they're all asking for autographs. And Spieth basically just acknowledges them, says, hey, listen, I'm going to go into the clubhouse and I'm going to just kind of calm down for a little bit. There might be a playoff. There might not be. I'm not sure just yet, but I will come back. Mm-hmm. Happen to be a playoff. He wins. He goes right back and he starts signing stuff.
I mean, we're talking real time, an hour and a half. Because he finished like 6 groups ahead of who ended up tying him. So like, I mean, that's a long time. I mean, that's easily forgettable, especially when you have your wife running across the green with your child, you have a trophy presentation, and like after all that, dude went back, held his word. But I mean, that's Jordan Spieth to a T. Like that's just a dude being a great guy, and that's all he's ever shown to be on tour.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, looking at it from a professional athlete perspective of, you know, role models, different stuff like that. Like, that's a guy that you just could emulate and say, hey, this guy's a man of his word. He acknowledged them. He could have just walked right past them. They could have just waited for everybody. But no, he's like, I'm going to acknowledge you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say, yeah, hey, I'm going to be back. Don't worry, guys. I'll be back. Man of his word. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely. Great role model. To jump sports very quickly, Kyrie Irving, not a great role model. But
I'm sorry, I don't watch the NBA.
You didn't
what happened?
You didn't have to watch it to
Like,
understand.
I wasn't paying attention.
You never saw anything on Kyrie Irving.
No, not on my Twitter feed.
Seriously?
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible.
I don't watch the NBA either, and nor did I watch the game. But Kyrie Irving, was it 4 different times between game, post-game press conference, flipped the bird at fans and within the press conference from fans.
How did I miss
We're talking
this?
double bird. Like, he's getting ready to inbounds the ball. Boom. He's running down the court. Boom.
Mid-game?
And, like, he's yelling at
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
How did I miss this?
Right after the
that's a
game,
great
like,
question. I have no idea. It's been everywhere.
it's like
Not everywhere, clearly.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe
really
I just have a muted NBA channel. Like, what do I don't.
I have no
what?
idea.
ever show me NBA.
Ever.
But
I
he
mean, I
was,
talk shit on it, but damn.
he was walking back into the locker room. I don't know at what point of the game. He was walking back into the locker room, and a Boston fans just like, Kyrie, you suck. And all you hear, Kyrie, is SMD. And I'm like,
Yep.
wow. And this
And
is
then he
just,
flips the bird. I mean, so
Hey, bird is the word.
don't want to get into NBA here because I don't think any of us.
We
are doing
digress.
it.
Let's
But
stay on
like
track.
That,
Let's stay on track.
not a role model.
No.
nope. Not Jordan Spieth-esque right there.
Yeah. Well, Scotty Scheffler, also a great guy.
Yeah.
I mean, so golf's in good hands.
Well, and I think that's a big thing. Another cool thing is the golf community is small. So like Jack Nicklaus was one of the first people that I shouldn't say one of the first, but like probably isn't on social media very often and tweets about Jordan Spieth, tweets about, you know, the start of something big, could be whatever it might be, but you know, Jordan Spieth, Easter weekend.
Yep.
Hard to bet against him.
It is.
Guess what's Easter weekend next year?
Next year, a tradition unlike any other.
The Masters.
I can't believe it. So many people were talking about that. I'm like, it's an entire year away. An entire
But when
year.
you win on, so like Easter doesn't always fall on the same day. So the fact that he won on Easter last year, and then he won on Easter, different tournament this year, and then the Masters is obviously like the ultimate.
where
then
he has
that
mental
falls-
demons.
Right, but then that falls on Easter next year.
I
So
get-
therefore,
I
like,
get it, but
the
like-
whole concept of falling on Easter
Lame.
with his demons.
I get it.
3 in a row.
Yeah, it'd
like,
be really cool.
Do you know
It
how
won't
many
happen.
bets are coming? Like,
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna fade him that week. Right now.
as you
I will
probably
be
should.
fading Spieth.
But the story's way better if he wins.
Yeah.
I don't like the story because Tigger's gonna be playing. I like that story better.
Well,
Also,
chance.
another
Tiger
fun fact
playing or
about
Spieth winning the Masters next year.
Better chance
Tiger
of happening.
playing?
Tiger playing.
Okay.
Without
You
a
guys are
doubt.
just all in on him being okay. I'm still not.
Oh, he's in
Well,
pain.
no,
Did you not see that?
He came out and said
get it,
to Nicholas or whatever, like,
That was
I'm gonna hurt.
Still a year away.
He's gonna be that much
47.
healthier.
No, he's going to be 47.
He's gonna be that much healthier.
You guys are so optimistic. I love it.
I love me some Tigger until he is until Charlie's in, and that's it. And then I'll ride.
Right, that's fair.
Okay.
There's another fun fact. Jordan Spieth is now so Justin Thomas playing incredible golf. I mean, he's just not sealing the deal on victories, different stuff. Jordan Spieth has now won twice since Justin Thomas's last victory, and Jordan Spieth's wins are 1 year apart.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty bad actually for
It's
JT in that regard.
Cantlay's probably,
Up there.
and I don't know
too.
what he's ranked, but like he hasn't won this year, and he's top 5 in every tournament.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
To be fair,
that was
that's
a-
where you want to be. Like,
that was a Tony Finau esque.
thing.
Was it? Yeah,
for a
I mean,
while.
he's just
when he had how many second place finishes?
Right.
Like 12.
Well,
I don't even know
like
what's
he had-
stupid.
always a bridesmaid, never a
whole
bride,
bunch of
maybe.
top 10.
But like, yeah, it pisses you off. But that's the things that will motivate him. But also, you're cool. You're 100% okay being top 5 every week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
life's good. Anyway,
to a point.
Let's go back to shitty shots.
Yeah.
Let's get caught up.
All right. So
There's only one person that has a shitty shot from the Masters. We do have to go back to the Masters for this reason.
Right.
Only.
Oh, it's me for sure.
Oh yeah. No, it is. We'll do the points and all that stuff later because we still need to figure out.
Well, I can do some of these because I got 0 in multiple categories there.
Nah made it to the top 40. I do know that. And the rest, I have no clue.
McIntyre did as well, I believe. I'll have to look.
But regardless, shitty shot.
Yeah, they're over there. I had Xander.
We'll get there, buddy.
I talked about it a little bit on the golf course. For whatever reason, this might be Xander's week to win because for whatever reason I seem to pick a guy just before.
Why is it so brown?
Root beer.
Oh.
99 root beer. But I always seem to select
I'd probably
good luck Chuck.
I'd probably go good with the bamboo actually.
I probably would.
Maybe I should be disappointed I didn't draw it.
It's warm.
Yeah,
They're all warm, so there's that.
I'd probably just pour it in.
You can't do that. Then you have to. It's probably not. It's the warmth. Probably is the worst part.
Yeah.
Otherwise, not great.
I think if it's cold,
That's kind of
it's not bad.
It's kind of the fun in it.
Well,
it also
it is a shitty shot.
It also at the same time kind of tastes like a root beer barrel that's been in your grandfather's pocket for 6 years.
We could just like
only 6.
We could just pour all of them
back in '94. Yeah.
Pour them all into a pitcher and then re-pour them back in so they're all mixed.
Oh my god.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
It'd be kind of fun though. It went for now. I don't want to do it. I don't want to.
Is that our shitty shot version of like a bar mat shot in that situation?
Yep. Maybe when we get more fans, we can have them just call it.
Oh man. Yeah, you call it. That's what.
Yeah.
Shitty shots would be like fans call it type deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was the one from the Masters.
Yep.
This week there's only one.
Yeah.
DJ missing the cut.
At his own tournament. It's like he just made a celebrity appearance to wave and get paid and then said, see you later, I'm going to fish. Which is what he did.
And he
did.
Those were some some monster fish.
Somebody wanted nothing to do with
So he won.
So take this back to Cole.
Over here. I mean,
one way or the other.
I mean, this can't go without mentioning. I missed the cut, but my one and done and my outright winner missed the cut.
Yeah.
So you're saying you want to?
They did too, so that's good.
So you're saying you want to?
No.
And your top 40.
The fact that my player to fade did makes me feel a little bit better. So
you look in there.
Your dark horse made the cut.
They always do.
It looks like a back to back.
Jeez.
Ooh. All right.
I didn't buy that many. Like, why is that happening?
So yeah, rough. I mean, just tough. Just tough.
So I guess we'll start with that outright winner.
I'm so glad I switched up my
picked,
one and done it.
Connors and Neiman were both
I wanted to.
I wrote
Neiman.
5 names down. I wrote the 2 down. I wrote Connors, Neiman, and then my other one was I think Palmer, Ryan Palmer.
Okay.
And so literally, the 2 that I go with,
just
the bed, and everybody else plays well.
Been there.
Just
been there. That's my year.
But I just need to play the negative side of things. I'm pretty good at players to fade.
So outright winner. Stoy took Corey Connors, ended up T12, so pretty darn good finish there. Cole is taking his shitty shot for DJ missing the cut. I took Cantlay, who lost in his playoff, to Spieth.
It's not good.
He's still young. I think that's it. It's got to be.
But so yeah, that's true. That's true. So honestly, overall, not bad. I mean, I think that's the first time 2 of us have been inside the top 15. I think in our outright winners.
Yeah.
If I look back to it, we'll jump up to one and done, and then we'll work our way back down. So Stoy took old Kiz.
It gets worse.
Yeah, I completely agree with that statement right there. I'm honestly just continuing to talk so then I don't let my
I'm having trouble breathing a little bit.
Taste buds get there.
I'm so glad. I think I bought 2 of each. I hope. Because the next one, I don't really want that feeling.
Now that those are going
thicker, and then
so then
I don't know.
So Stoy took Kisner. He missed the cut. Cole took Henley as one of his two two picks that he wrote down. He missed the cut. I took Neiman. Ended up T12 with Connors there.
Good pick.
Dark horse picks. Stoy coming in hot with Cooch. T3
go,
finish.
baby.
That was such a good pick, and
Love
he
me
was.
some Coach.
He plays so well there.
He did.
Yeah.
He does.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just-
There's only a few tournaments you can really count on him always playing well,
He
and
does.
this is
like,
it.
He's just there's a comfort level with his game.
Yeah.
It's like his Skechers. You just know where he's going to be comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Cole, you took Mav McNeely. I'd be curious to see where he was.
He had a great final round.
Yeah, I would be curious to see where he was, like, in a starting, like, at the start of the bets to see, okay, what's plus 5,000? Is it right around 26? Because it kind of seems like he played up to his odds.
I see what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
But still, pretty darn good pick. I took Chris Kirk. Chris Kirk missed the cut there. I just thought that he was playing well, and he proved me wrong.
He did the same thing Henley did to me up top. It was
Yeah.
just like usually in those tournaments, it's like the cream of the crop plays well, but like you don't get the Spieth Cantlay playoff. You get the Spieth Henley playoff,
Yeah.
or
It's
or
a
Connors
yeah.
or whatever, and like just the fact that you had like a big name top 10 playoff, and then Spieth had a great bunker shot to win. But like the fact that they both hit their approach shots into the bunkers, like this isn't really even.
This isn't high quality.
Not high quality golf.
I mean, I enjoy the torture, but it's
Spieth
come
also
on.
likes holding out for bunkers to win playoffs.
He doesn't
so-
want to putt.
yeah,
he
so
can't
He missed.
putt.
He missed on the edge of the bunker on purpose.
Yeah. I mean,
you
Seven-
can't really argue it as much.
7
Let's
total
just say he
playoffs
was-
in his career, though.
Yeah.
Like,
let's
that's
just,
a lot.
Let's just say he was probably more confident over that
What's
shot
his
than if
record?
it was on the green.
4-3.
Okay, that's what I figured it'd be right about.
I
Yep.
know two of the wins are
Cantlay's
from
isn't good.
No, Cantlay's fell off. All right, where we at? Top 40s?
So, yeah.
Ben Royan.
Let's get it.
Eric Van Rooyen. He had a great week.
Yeah, he did.
He did a lot better
well.
than
He was
anticipated. A T10
was
was a
what?
little.
third round leader, correct? And then he fell off a little bit on Sunday.
died, yeah.
Played pretty well.
Varner was a guy.
Varner was good,
Nobody
yeah.
had him, but that was definitely a
He was
guy
on my
that,
list.
I had a guy-
that
I had a guy on my list as my dark horse that ended up T12. Just a random name that I was like, you know what, he's playing pretty well. Matt Naismith.
Yep.
I had him on my list and ended up T12, but took Kirk, missed the cut.
You know what we're gonna call that?
Knox.
We're gonna call that foreshadowing.
Foreshadow.
Remember the name.
Remember the name?
Remember the
Okay.
name.
Okay, let's go.
Russell's had a bad week.
Yeah, it just wasn't the week for
wasn't
Russell.
there.
So like I was all in on Russell's, Knox and Henley, and they sucked as much as Russell Wilson.
I feel like we need a new rule. If you have more than 2+ missed cuts, you just there's got to be something.
Well,
like,
I'm gonna lose, so therefore it's gonna be another shitty shot.
yeah, I mean, there's that,
Yeah.
but like, good night.
That's where the
It's a lot of missed cuts.
So-
yeah, but I mean, I faded the third.
You got one.
favorite
Yes,
and
true.
Missed the damn
cut,
cut,
which is
like,
pretty solid.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
Woo!
Hey, Fitz.
Get that
So-
pat on the back, baby.
That'll offset the 2 missed cuts. How
So
about that?
jumping into the player to fade.
Don't give too much.
Jumping into the player to fade. I mean, we all had a decent week of player to fade.
We're all fadeable.
Everybody was
clearly
fadeable.
very fadeable.
Stoy with Fitzpatrick. He was the sixth best
let's
odds to
get
win.
it.
He missed the cut. Cole, Cam Smith, third best odds to win the tournament. He missed the cut. And I had Webb Simpson with the 10th best odds. He ended up T59.
Which is
so just-
legit, except for with our 2 missed cuts, it looks kind of pedestrian.
Right.
Yeah, it does.
So,
How close was he? Even did he just make the cut? Do you know?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like right there. And I actually.
Because Henley bogeyed 18 on Friday to miss the cut.
Yeah, Kisner missed down the stretch
Right,
as well.
like-
Yeah.
Like they both shot 3 under. They were 3 under, and I'm like, okay, 6 under is the leader.
work.
Like they're sitting fine.
Make
and
the
then
cut,
I
make a
look,
run.
And they shoot 76 the next day, and I'm like, excuse me.
Right. Sweet. I'll just go ahead and take that as a L.
See you later, Russell. Last time I ever bet on you,
Yeah, I agree.
which is perfectly fine. If
Yeah, I
ever
mean,
betted
it's no.
bet on Russell Henley again, it'd probably be for the best.
So
no one
Webb,
else is playing.
Webb went 2 under, 2 over, 2 under, 2 over. That was his rounds for the week.
Consistency.
Yeah. Just
Thing of beauty.
Thing of beauty.
so overall last week, Stoy and I tied at the top
Mm-hmm.
with 10 points. Cole had 5.
Ew.
Those missed cuts kill a guy.
I mean, miscuts
As they
aren't
should.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not good.
Besides at the bottom.
Yeah.
So overall, I'd say that's probably I want to say average week, but we had a lot of highs and we had a lot of lows. There was no real in between.
No in between. We either did really well.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to say average week, which it probably averages out to an average week, but we didn't really have any in between picks.
It would be deceiving to call it an average week, but it would be true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the world we live in now. Is like, all in all, we are very average, but it's only because we have everyone out here or everyone out here. It's like, actually, we just live kind of in the middle, and that's where we should be. Like,
just right here.
Let's get it figured out.
Yeah, so
maybe this week we can get it figured.
Hey.
Champ this week, I mean, I guess we go tie.
Huh? Oh.
The champ for the week would be a tie, technically.
What's flip back to the
boring.
screen real quick? I'll pick a winner as the guy that's got to take another shitty shot. Let's see. So shitty shot was based on Patrick Cantley's outright winner. He's finished the highest of the people with none.
I mean, if we based just on those two, that would be my criteria. Would be here to here and
well,
his
and Neiman would be the second one since those two dudes missed the cut. So
right. So it's clear.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry,
That
Ryan.
just means you had.
Sorry, Ryan.
What do you mean, sorry, Ryan?
It was
It
right.
means I win.
I mean, winning really. What is that?
Oh, yeah.
What is the? I mean,
Sorry,
really
you're
winning.
third.
We're just keeping track of
I was like,
throughout
that
the week.
doesn't.
So,
Congrats,
yeah.
but our points are
We
the
didn't.
same.
We didn't have the. We didn't have.
like 10
we need the trophy.
asterisks.
We need our little gold
He's
trophy.
right out there.
Is that the tiebreaker?
You can
Is
get him at
the
drink.
champ? How many champs do you have? Is the tiebreaker?
Yeah,
If
right.
at the end of the season, this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's a good call. We just tend to add stuff in week by week.
And usually forget.
Yep.
It's fine. It's fine.
It is what it
It
is.
is what it is.
All right, so
By the way, breaking news. And not breaking news.
Breaking.
But if you guys were not aware,
All this.
watch it be another root beer.
There's no way there's 3 in there. Pineapples. All right. I can do
I
pineapples.
apologize. There's 4 of each.
I can do pineapples.
DraftKings tonight. Dodgers Braves. They have a boost on SGP. 3+ SGP. 100% boost. Just throwing it out there, letting everyone know. In the Twitterverse, live out there. DK
Cole, are you a baseball guy? Who's your team?
I don't
has.
have a baseball team. I like the playoffs.
Well, that's
That's
like
fair.
me for the NBA, except for I don't watch
It's
NBA.
me for every professional sport except for football. And I will say that randomly enough, NHL playoff hockey
Is incredible.
unreal.
Very good.
So fun to watch.
I mean, I know that like
Pretty good.
NHL is very niche from an overall fandom standpoint. I try to be well versed in like sports I didn't play, so wrestling, hockey, tennis, that type of stuff, just to be able to understand and enjoy like when I do flip over. But NHL playoff hockey is top notch,
Absolutely.
and I will never watch a game in the regular season. Like I won't even attempt to like flip through and like
NHL?
catch a.
No.
a
I actually don't.
5-minute
I actually don't mind it. I just
and I probably
pace of play
should.
type
I just
deal, like that
don't.
kind of stuff.
Like, I'll go find women's golf or kids golf before I find
Yeah.
NHL regular season hockey or NBA regular season or. I mean, I just
Yeah.
like when it comes down to it, like professional sports, NFL is about the only professional sport that I consistently make appointment TV from that perspective.
I think hockey kind of is an easy thing. Could be an easier thing to get into just based off of the fact that like, so it's constant motion.
Right.
Even if they're not scoring, they're hitting people. You know, they're getting close. There's shots and goal. There's everything like that. You lean towards, you know, maybe baseball, and people just don't like the pace of play because it's, you know, one guy against another,
Right, but I
slow in
think
between, action, different stuff like
yes,
that.
they get to fight.
Yeah, but I think the biggest issue with
Well,
hockey in
that's super
general
cool.
is
Get at me.
it's the combination of like so football. You know the players because pace of play in the game is slow enough that to where like you can profile the players and like you understand the positions and stuff like that. Hockey is too fast, and you're also padded in helmet. So like you don't like me. I know who probably the top 3 to 7 hockey players might be. Like I'll know names.
Yeah.
Might not even be the current best hockey players, but like I'm watching because of like the flow of the game and like knowing that like this is the best of the best at the most crucial times.
Yeah.
And I know hockey well enough to like understand what good hockey and bad hockey look like, and you're going to see that in the playoffs. But I think that's why hockey is so hard to catch on to the masses, is because like you can't really get to know the player because one, he's only playing for a minute and a half at a time, max.
Yeah.
And then like he's in a helmet and he's in pads, and most of these dudes are 5'10" to 6'2"
Right.
and 170 to 195 pounds. And like if you walk
Including
by them on
the goalies.
street, like
You would have no idea.
the three of us would be bigger than the average hockey player who's a professional athlete. But they're a different breed. They're kind of the wrestling breed. You understand that?
Yeah.
Like, so like
They're
super
definitely not the quarterback
enjoyable
breed.
sport, but I think that's why it's so tough, because I think people that watch hockey for the first time, was it like a few years ago, randomly the guy was like tweeting and like he's like, I've never watched hockey before, and then like his whole Twitter line blew up because he was like, this is amazing. Like people just don't give it a chance.
Right. And I think it falls in line with that, but at the same time, the everyday person is probably in a sense sometimes closest to hockey in a way. So
you're going to say this and I'm going to tell you why that's not true, but this is all personal bias.
What do you think I'm going to say?
Because people can ice skate.
No.
Okay.
No.
So
hockey is the only sport that you will basically ever see. I mean, obviously you have PGA Tour, but even so, in that where you can just pluck a guy off the street and he comes in and plays goalie. Now that guy had a ton of experience back in the day. He had a ton of experience. Yeah, it happens
a lot. I mean,
but that's a reserve player that's literally sitting there at a desk job doing nothing, and then all of a sudden, hey, we need you. Guy gets in and plays in a professional hockey game. Like that's cool situations.
That is a guy off the street, but that's not any guy off the street.
Right, it was not any guy.
What I'm saying is if you had a ton of golf experience,
right? They're not going to.
They can't just pull you and put you into a PGA Tour event. If you had a ton of baseball, you were in the minors for a while. They're not just going to come grab you.
How that still doesn't make any sense.
Exactly, but it's super cool.
Well, it's one of those rules they have. One, they only have so many depth on their bench.
Well, like and emergency situation. In the NFL, because like you've got practice squad guys and you've got
NHL does too. They have AAA.
Right. Like how are they not pulling?
Because they only have so many on the bench.
I get it. I'm just
saying,
like it would
it's a cool NHL rule that happens once every.
Just happened.
Whatever. Yeah. And he played well. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
That was sweet.
A rat like the rat.
And it's only going to be a goalie.
Like if a guy drops out and they need like the extra, but it's always like it's a pro
member
from the.
So is this guy. Like so are these guys.
Right.
The team's not going to just have emergency guys be like us.
Right.
They're going to have some experience of some sort.
Right.
Or practice with the team or something, because they still want a single fighting chance.
But the guy's fat ass in the goal with some pads on, and I can't skate. I'm gonna stop a couple.
I'll stop because I won't move.
Sore the next day because they'll fill the net more.
They'll go to like deke me out, but I can't move because I don't know how. So I'll just stand there and shoot right.
It'll just be big. Be big. Be big. Give me bigger pads.
I just think like the cool part is the guy's like, yeah, I was just playing in my beer league, hockey league, and then all of a sudden I get called up. Like,
yeah. No, absolutely.
That's why I like
that.
hockey. Is it's as one step away as it can be. It is one step away type deal.
Right. That's a big. It's one giant step.
Speaking of hockey,
no, let's things that should never be said.
New Orleans. That's where we're going this week. You guys want to go?
What does that have to do with hockey?
I had to get it off the top.
Happy Gilmore transition.
All right,
sure, yeah, there you go. There you go.
264 days till next hockey season.
Look at that.
Zurich Championship. What's unique about this one?
So the uniqueness for Zurich Championship or Zurich Classic here is the format. So this is actually a doubles or a team play event. So it's not just every golfer for themselves. How this event is formatted gives you a little bit of a Ryder Cup feel to a sense. So in round 1 and round 3, so that'd be Thursday and Saturday, they're playing best ball. So taking the best score between the two guys on that hole is what they're going to mark down on their scorecard. That's going to be the days where, I mean, I think it's cool that it's on Saturday because they call Saturday moving day all the time.
Theoretically speaking, you should shoot the best scores those days.
Best ball is when you're theoretically.
Okay.
And then rounds 2 and 4 is alternate shot. They call it foursomes. You might hear that, but alternate shot is what it is. So Cole would hit off the tee. Stoy would hit the next shot. Cole would hit the next shot. Lindsay!
Hey!
And so on and so forth. So that makes it pretty intriguing, and it's good that it's the final
What's up?
round.
Do you want to come in here? You want to speak golf? Okay. Well,
All right, come on in.
Get it. Let's get her a drink. Let's break before we get to the tournament. Yep. Let's do this. We're back. Welcome. Hey, this is.
I gotta do my pineapples.
Oh,
You've been slacking.
I know. Well, root beer
been there for a while.
Sitting well.
Pineapples will. It'll go well with the bumbu.
Oh, it's great. Did you tell that our guest that she gets an automatic city shot?
No,
She's
I
like,
didn't.
I'm
but you
leaving.
can't. And she's gone. Great. No more guests.
So Lindsay's stepping in here for everybody.
Hello.
This is Lindsay, another part of our Black Mammoth family. So if you guys listen to our other podcast, No BS Wealth, Lindsay, you'll see her face on that for the last several weeks.
Yeah.
For sure on that one. I'm trying to think of how many weeks, even though we haven't talked on some of those weeks as
Don't
well.
do math.
I'm not going to do
that.
math
No,
there.
don't do math.
It's going to hurt my brain.
But she also golfs. So this is why we're going to do this thing.
We've already used deductive reasoning, and Cole said that she's better than me just by deductive reasoning. So
You can move the whole thing.
Oh, can I?
Get comfortable. We're gonna be doing it for
Hello.
like 6 hours tomorrow. So
Oh.
we might want to.
yeah, that is
Good
true.
practice.
That is true.
So it's great practice. All right, now we're out. Let's do this. Zurich.
Ready.
Are we going to recap the format again, or should we just jump back into
They'll
it?
be fun.
All right, so next, let's go back into other details here. So top 33 out of 80 teams and ties make the cut. So for the course, Zurich, TPC, Louisiana, Avondale, Louisiana. So it's total yardage of 74.25, par 72, 4 par 4s, 4 par 3s, pretty standard there. As far as hazards, a ton of fairway lining bunkers, trees in play on most of those tee shots as well. Fairways tend to be a little bit wider, so accuracy off the tee is pretty important. Greens wise, they're relatively small, so those approach shots are going to be crucial, and probably above average green speeds is what I've read. Overall, about the course here, the par threes are pretty long, a little bit longer than tour average. I think average for the par threes was like 215 yards. Kind of a mixed bag of par fours, so you got some really short ones that are kind of gettable, or you're using, 3 wood, fairway woods off the tee.
Did you want me to pull this up the whole time?
I mean, you can if you want.
Okay. Well,
You can if you want.
I'll have to log back in.
And then they got longer range par fours that, jump up. I mean, the longest I think is 498 yards, I believe. So jumping up into that par 5 range. Most of the par 5s are reachable by most of these teams. Weather, pretty much perfect. Not Iowa weather. Right, Lindsay?
Windy though.
That's right. It's way cold here.
It's going to be windy and like 80. If
Right,
it's
but
windy and 80,
It's gonna be
don't.
windy.
Yeah, but
windy
they've
is-
been playing windy all year.
Windy is not bad. It's not that bad windy. I mean,
I'd rather play in no
not even
wind and
teens.
a little bit of rain than a whole bunch of wind and 80.
it's
From, like,
it's
a good
12.
golf
It's not a whole bunch
perspective.
of wind though. It's only 12 mile an hour, 13 mile an hour, 12
Gusts
mile.
of 25 to 30.
Those are gusts.
Those are
Everybody,
Gusts. We'll wait out the gusts. It's
everybody
fine.
waits out gusts on tour.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Chances for the rain come on Saturday and Sunday, but it's only for like an hour or 2 hours. I
didn't
think is what
see
I saw on the forecast.
Anything that threatened the tournament.
Key metrics I have here, and Cole, you can kind of speak to this as well. Key metrics I had: tee to green, strokes gained approach, birdie or better, bogey avoidance, and then strokes gained total. Those are kind of the 5 that I followed. I don't know if you have anything to add there.
More so just from like an overall perspective of the format, because it's tough when you're looking at individual statistics for the year, but you're throwing it into a team format. So it's kind of the perfect combination of the Ryder Cup, the President's Cup type of play, but form does definitely come into play. The question in my mind really becomes like, are there certain guys who, because they're playing in a comfort zone in that combination this week, that maybe like get back to form? More so, like Cam Smith, to me, like he was an obvious pick to fade last week because of hole 12 at the Masters. Like he wasn't right. You could watch his golf swing and know that mentally that hole beat him up for the next 6 holes, and then he missed the cut this week. Like that to me was like the most no-brainer play ever for him at RBC. The question is now he's back with Leishman this week, and not teaser, I'm fading him again because he's going to have to prove it to me. But like, does Leishman get him back on track? Because the dude's been on fire all year. But like, is one hole still going to affect him, or does like getting back to playing with your countrymen, your best friend, your roommate, which we're going to see all of those things this week? This is like, that's why this is fun. That's why it's fun once a year. Now, if you do this every week, again, it's not fun. But it's one of those things where it's a unique tournament, and that's why you're going to see names that maybe you won't hear all year up at the top because they're out there playing with their buddies. It's just like us going out and playing together, and it's like that's sometimes when you have your best rounds.
Yeah, and I think you said it best when you were talking about, okay, does it bring out maybe their play? Because it takes off a little bit of that edge and makes them feel more confident. So, for example, if Cole's a much better golfer than I am. If we're on a team, I probably play a little bit more free just because I know, hey, I kind of got a safety net in Cole. So names like, everybody on the PGA Tour is good. Don't get me wrong, but like names like Scott Piercy you see all the time up at the top of the list. Ryan Palmer probably plays his best golf this week because he always gets the best partners. I think.
How does that happen?
So I looked at it.
Dude, he's just a good dude.
I looked at it, and it's based off
of his last name.
It's the priority given based off of who says they're in first. So I feel like Ryan Palmer just like puts his hat in the ring and says, "Yep, I'm playing next year." So now I get to choose my partner right away.
But doesn't your partner have to say yes?
Yes.
But if he's finishing if he's finishing top 10, top 5 all the time, then they're gonna be like, "Yeah, this guy's a good guy."
Right,
so, his last 3 partners have been John Rahm, Jordan Spieth, and now Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, but have they won?
Once.
3 top 10s and a top 3, I think, in like the last 4 years.
Yeah.
But has he won?
No, he hasn't. But like, you're fine if you're finishing top 10.
We just talked about it.
Earlier,
Top 5.
Like,
this is his paycheck week.
Yeah.
This is his paycheck week. So, one of the other names, I think
It is good.
Good.
one of the other
You guys know a whole lot more about golf than I do.
cool names, I think, are cool stories this week
That's
that
why
we're going to talk
sitting
about is the father-son duo, Bill Haas and Jay Haas. So Jay Haas, 69 years old, father-son duo. He's just out to play around the golf with his son.
Right.
And again, it's one of those things where they've probably played so much golf together, they know each other's game, so maybe they feed off of each
I
other.
don't think
and
they're going to play bad, but like they're just not going to compete.
no, they're not going to win it.
Right.
Now, if they do, more power to them, and we look very stupid.
Now remind me,
but
is there a cut at this event?
yes, so top 33 teams make it. Other kind of notable, I guess, partnerships that I kind of looked at, like you mentioned, best friends,
I'm going to
roommates.
Kyrie on you.
So Willie Z and Davis Riley. So Will Zalatoris and Davis Riley, they were roommates in Texas for a while, for a couple of years. So those guys are playing together. Both first timers at this event, though. So we'll see how they play. I'm sure they probably. I guess I can't speak on their behalf, but I don't know if they
about
played.
Riley. I mean, obviously, Willie's been playing well.
So in those metrics, I think there was only one metric where he was better than Will Zalatoris, and
What's that?
it was a putting thing.
Putts
Yeah.
from 3 feet.
Exactly. And then, so another like notable matchup, Morikawa Hovland. So that one was kind of cool just because it's like Ryder Cup. They played against each other in the Ryder Cup, and now they're playing with each other. One of the other parts.
Assume that they have to play a lot of rounds together, maybe live in the same area within the U.S.
You would
for
think
them to
so.
come together. Like
You would think so.
I know
With
for
that
a
team,
fact
yes.
that like Finau, I have a personal connection with. Like
Here we
I
go
know,
again.
Yeah, just name.
Keep plugging it.
But I know that he plays the most rounds of golf in the off season with John Rahm. He personally told me that. So like that to me, like when I saw that, I was like, oh, they must. Like that's the connection that I made for that. So I would have liked to see Finau and Rahm playing in this. I thought that would have been fun too, but because I actually looked for that.
So one thing that's
I would have
interesting
gone with that connection.
Absolutely.
So along those same lines, and regardless, they're the best golfers in the world, but they're used to their field. They're used to everything. They do have to play or choose one person's ball to play. So if you play, so Rex and I play a TP5,
we're playing.
we just got to decide.
You need to play with each other's balls all week. Sorry, I couldn't get.
You couldn't resist there.
It was
Okay.
just on there.
Okay.
It was just there.
Where's the drums? Where's my sound guy? Yep, killed it. Moment's gone.
We need to redo our sounds.
Yeah, we've got way too many.
Damn it, Chase!
Stoy's typing.
Stoy's
typing away up there.
Way too long.
Yeah, I know.
As far as the field, though, I mean, half of the top 20 in the official world golf rankings, so it's a pretty darn good field. I mean, a couple weeks after the Masters, some guys are taking breaks, some guys are doing this.
Right.
But I think, regardless, they've gotten the break that they needed, and some of those guys are just, like you said, ready to get back to form. And is this an event that can do it?
Yeah,
potentially. Where are we going to start?
I don't know.
Where
I
do we
feel
start
like
this week?
I feel like we need to get some comments from the peanut gallery over here. What do you guys think?
I'm making picks over here. I'm just letting you guys talk.
I know. I see you big.
I base on my gut. I don't base on all this fact stuff that you guys spit.
I mean, we're
Okay. I don't talk about it.
no thoughts.
I don't talk about
Do you got a favorite golfer on the PGA Tour?
Ooh, I don't know.
Do you have a least favorite?
I wouldn't disclose that right now. I don't think.
I mean, you're not gonna offend
She
anybody,
lives in Texas.
I do.
so that's fine.
So the Scheffler guy, right?
Yeah.
Scheffler? Scotty?
Scotty Scheffler.
I could see that.
Yeah. And then let's see, Jordan Spieth. Like I have like arm's length connections to Jordan Spieth, so it's like I don't really know.
Like both your favorites.
Well, I don't know about they're my favorites, but
Like they're not. Well, who's your least favorite then?
We did just.
people will like cringe when I say this. I've never been a Phil Mickelson fan.
That's fine.
That's actually probably a very common thought right now.
Okay.
Because Phil is
It's
pretty
Phil.
controversial.
That and we're on a podcast. Like
Oh, I know.
Hot takes.
Hot takes.
Did you know our Phil
we
comment
gotta
earlier this year
piss some
was one of
people
our
off
best
here.
ones?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, well, you're welcome.
talk shit
Right.
about Phil.
Yeah. Like, I need a little more boisterous over there. Like let's
Yeah.
like
We
I don't even know
did
what it
talk
is.
about Jordan
Phil's a
Spieth just being a good dude,
jackass.
though.
Phil is
What?
kind of a
We did just like have a good conversation
you know?
about Jordan Spieth being just
Maybe.
a general,
Yeah, he's
in
like
general, a
a
good
dude.
dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you saw last week, the thing that brought up the conversation was one, his wife running to him while his
Yeah, I thought
kid's
that
head was
adorable.
just
Well, that was a little.
yeah.
shaking baby syndrome from the mother.
I was like,
what the hell are you doing?
That's what I said
Please
as a
hold
dad.
her
I'm like,
head.
oh yes, please just grab their head.
But then we got to talking. So after Jordan Spieth finished his last round, there was a bunch of kids asking for his autograph. He's like, hey guys, I don't know if there's going to be a playoff hole or anything like that. I'm going to go into the clubhouse. I'm going to wait it out. If there is a playoff, then I'm going to play and I'll come back after. If there's not, I'll come right back out to you guys regardless of the result. Happen to be a playoff, go through the ceremony, go straight back over to all those kids. Like,
Yeah.
that's just, we were talking about
goodness.
role models. That's just a good person.
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing here first? What do we think?
Where are we starting? Story, where are we starting?
Start with the fades.
Faden?
Fade.
Oh,
Yep.
jeez.
Yeah.
That's why I gave him the Kyrie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair.
Start with fades.
Who am
He
I
wouldn't have faded
fading?
that if I wouldn't have said anything earlier either.
Who am I fading?
I'm fading.
You're just fading the favorite. That's fair.
Well, I mean, it's not the favorite.
Yeah,
Cantley, Scheffler.
They're tied.
Schauffele. Well, yeah, but
Both plus
if you
one.
look at those two, I'm thinking Cantley, Schauffele for me
Right.
ahead of them.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Mm.
just saying.
Can't argue it.
Yeah, Barkow's got to show it, and Hovland. Hopefully the week off helped, but he's not. His form dropped too.
Well, I mean, I already shared mine. I'm fading the Leishman Smith team. No, that's wrong.
I got it. I got it.
Nah.
I got it.
Gotta watch you all the time.
I'll have to do his job.
This more has to do with Cam Smith than Leishman, but Leishman hasn't been in great form. So, like I said, I think I just need Cam to prove that he can consistently hit golf shots again after the Augusta meltdown.
It's fair. I don't know why I'm doing this, honestly, because at least one of these partnerships loves these types of events, but I think I'm going to fade Lowry Poulter. That's a tough one because Shane Lowry is playing
out of his mind,
incredible.
And Poulter loves match play.
Yep. So
Well, good for you because
we need somebody to take
it's
a
my
shot, right?
it's my outright winner.
perfect. Perfect.
Okay, so is this like fantasy golf or something here? Like
So like what we're
this
doing.
is way
this
more
is-
technical.
you're
than
not
I've ever
doing this.
seen
No,
anybody
this is
look
actually
at or talk
sports
about
betting.
golf.
So we
Sports
actually
betting.
do sports
Yes.
betting. Yeah.
So like you
Oh.
can bet golf. So what we're doing is taking it to a level of like where we
Yeah.
we enter bet
Crazy.
between
Oh.
ourselves
Who knew?
with
Who would have thunk?
we take the golf odds and then bet against each other while providing insights or outsights depending
Hey.
on the week.
Okay.
And so,
More
like,
often than
for
not,
us, like
sites.
shitty shot, we attach a shitty shot to the outright winner, and so they've had a lot of shitty shots in the last couple of weeks.
And then also, so like Stoy has his team winning is Ryan's team that he's fading. So like the winner of those two, like of the difference, will also have a shitty shot.
Correct.
So,
So, like,
and then
it's a doubler.
how that works is so if Lowry and Poulter get 18th or worse, Stoy has to take that shitty shot.
So it's just a difference in
We do
Finishing.
10 spots, which is harder to do in this one, I think,
because there's
but
fewer.
still do 10 spots. I think that's just our rule.
You're gonna have a lot on the line this week.
Oh, you doubling up too with Morikawa?
No, because that's
Oh.
that's
Oh, so we got to double it up.
that's why I gave you the Kyrie earlier because you put
I
that in.
figured
I'm
it.
like,
I
seriously?
figured.
Come on.
I like it. Well, this gonna be fun then.
Yeah.
For
So
somebody else.
yeah, we'll get back to that soon enough. Where are we going next?
Let's go up to top 20. So normally we have top 40, but this week smaller field. And if you go on to FanDuel, which is where we're getting our odds and everything from,
The only top 20.
yeah, the highest you can go is top 20. So we'll jump to that. Cole, you got your pick.
I got
this
my
week?
pick for top 20. Yes. As I mentioned earlier, the player to remember, Matthew Naismith, and he's playing with I believe, is it Ryan Moore?
Is it Ryan or Taylor Moore that he's
Taylor Moore. I think that's correct. There is a Ryan Moore.
There is a
but-
Ryan.
There is.
But I believe he's playing with Taylor Moore.
Ooh, plus 190.
They're plus 190. So the other group I was considering taking, but simply because there were better odds, was the Joel Dahman and Jaeger group. They're at plus 250. But I do think both of those will actually, I would actually parlay those to both finish in the top 20.
Yeah, that's good.
Just a couple of good
solid
groups
choice.
there.
I think
And
Dahman's-
Naismith's been playing really well, and Dahman played well last week. So
I think the only thing that would probably hold me back from Dominic is I think he's missed the cut here like 2 or 3 times already.
New
But
partner.
again, new
New
partners,
partner.
different stuff
Yeah.
like that. So you never know.
I even like
and he
Rose
hasn't played
Stenson
well
would be a good
though
one.
in this format, so that's why I went with the other group. But
I'll go next. I've been waiting to pick this guy all year, and I don't even know
for
that
a
I
top
love.
20,
I mean, he doesn't. Probably not an outright winner at this point.
that's fair.
His partner, I think, will hold him back a little bit from that. But as a top 20 pick, plus 145 odds, I like Charles Schwartzel and Christian Bezudenhout.
I actually looked at them, simply because Schwartzel played so well at the Masters, but I don't really know what that means because the Masters is such an outlier.
Schwartzel has had multiple top threes here. 1 year he didn't play, and then I think he had like a 17th or something
Right.
like that in the last however many years that I looked at. So
But I like Bezudenhout. He's super streaky. Like if he's good, he's good. If not, they might miss the cut. So
We're doing it.
Bazoo.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm switching up my pick though.
oh, okay.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Are you researching?
Huh? No.
Whoa! Is he researching right now?
No, the gut, the gut change. The Rose Stenson. I
Did
just
you have
love
a
them playing
rumble
together.
or
Okay.
what?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at
Rose?
Kizrai. I don't know how to pronounce it. In
Desire.
Boston.
Pat
Kizrai.
Desire.
Kizrai.
No,
Kizire.
that's yes. Thank
Okay.
you. I appreciate it.
And Boston, I like them. As
Show a little
group,
respect.
But Rose Stenson just jumps off the map to me. They love playing together. This is a matchup. This is good.
Yeah,
So
this
I'm
is good.
I'm
Yep.
changing it.
They
Plus
like to play
145.
2 days and then go fishing for the weekend.
They do. You want to fade them too? You double fade? We have
They're just
multiple fades.
both old.
I know, but that's where these come together. It'll be fun.
That's fair.
and I'll probably regret it later.
I hope they do well. Like that's a good group. Like two good dudes that represent the game of golf well, but they just neither
Been
one
there
have been
forever.
playing well.
They cannot.
They're
put
not
four
in
together.
form either one. I worry about them in the alternate shot.
It'll be all right. We'll be fine.
It's fine.
Let's just keep going up the list here.
Dark horse.
Yeah, so let's go to our dark horse.
What is that?
Dark horse. So, yeah.
Well,
For new
done,
listeners,
guess.
that's a great
Black
one.
Stallion. It's a dark horse.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Bad
odds.
joke. Gets me
Odds. So
Every time.
50-1 or worse. So plus 5,000 or worse. So these are basically just long shots to win the tournament.
Okay.
So these ones are people that. So for example,
You would never pick.
yeah, most people are not going to take these guys. Or there's a lot of bettors out there who have units, and they have specific units that they place on different style of bets. With these having bigger odds, they might place a half of a unit on this bet because if it pays out, it's going to pay out big.
I go with $1.
And you can like hedge with it.
That's a big bet.
No.
Well, like for
It's
these
just
guys though,
easy
it would be because like you could bet $1 on these guys versus like $100 on the favorite and still get the same payout.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Right.
So like you're just hedging yourself. And
So like
you know
my
what?
pick, I pick $1 and I win 90.
Okay.
Yes.
But the odds
So
are
that's our.
Good at math.
So Stoy,
Got it.
you
Good at math. I'm great at math.
Stoy, you prefaced that. You said your pick.
Yeah. Hostler
So
Thigala. Hostler's been playing well overall. Thigala was early. I don't know where he's been.
Yeah, I
Where the
mean,
hell's he been? He's been playing. I don't even know.
he's been playing like
I
he
just-
did before he played well in one
yeah,
tournament.
but I just like the young guns playing
Yeah.
playing together and bringing some energy, and plus their names are cool.
Yeah.
Bo
That's true.
Hostler and Thigala.
That's a great way to pick people.
It is when they're a dark horse and you don't do research.
Cole, what do you?
I go with my gut. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
And
going with
Number
someone
one
who has
standings,
played
so
well all
I'll say.
year, and I'm going to
So
continue
you got this.
the trend, even though I don't know what his partner does at all. I'm going with the Sig Straka, plus 5,500.
Which one's playing well?
Straka's
Straka.
been like
And Grayson Sig was money at the beginning of the year,
okay. So like,
so that's actually a pretty darn good
see,
pick,
there's
I
my
think.
there's
There
my
you go.
value add.
Yeah, here it is. I
That's
had
why-
no idea on
That's why we
SIG.
have Ryan here for
This is- yep.
research analysis.
Research analysis. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, Straka's been. I mean, the dude's just been in tournaments, and he's very unassuming. Is he Polish? I think. Like, just doesn't draw attention at all. Like, just kind of a slogging white dude out there, and like doesn't do
slogging.
anything.
That's terrible.
Right, but, like, he
Sloggy
doesn't-
white dude.
I mean, I can
Slogging
say
white
that.
dude.
Like, he
I'm,
doesn't.
I'm using that from now on.
Right. So like, tell me I'm wrong. Like,
No, you're not.
That's exactly
But I'm
what
using
he
that
is,
from
like-
now on. Slogging.
like.
I like it.
I keep waiting
He's
for
kind
you
of
guys
like
to
a
say
sloppy
some names
Ernie
that I
Els.
recognize. And
How-
I don't
how do you not
recognize
know
half
some
these
of these?
names. I
Really?
think I've just been out of it. Like,
Clearly.
I mean, golf is
Really?
no golf's made that way though.
It
Like,
is.
because like my wife follows like Ricky Fowler,
Yeah.
JT Spieth, like all of them on like Instagram and stuff like that. So
Yes.
like I can name 10 golfers and she'd be like boom, 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 and then I'll just be like,
Six
No.
stock.
and she'll be like, wrong. Are we in hockey now?
Yeah, right.
Or,
Which
you
is
know, whatever
fair.
it is.
Those are some.
But,
I
like,
feel like
that's how
Byron
golf
would have
is.
been a better guest for you guys today. But you know,
No, it's like
well,
We can always get him on.
the reason you're up here is not for
he's
this.
totally into this. I'm sure.
we are
get it.
making you make a pick to win though.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Let's
Absolutely.
do that. Let's do that.
But yeah, so 5,500, the Sig Straka group.
Here, you can go through the list.
Grayson
Pick
Sig.
based on.
Thanks for the
Nothing.
first name drop
Names?
there, Ryan.
Grayson Sig. Oh,
How do they
This-
know each other? Do we know?
I mean, next year we could probably dive deep into these teams.
I mean,
I won't.
I don't know that.
I don't have time for that.
like there's obvious relationships between some.
So there's some
Rose
repeat.
and-
I mean, so repeat teams like Gooch, Homa,
I
Steele,
love that
Bradley.
group. I
that's a
didn't
gr-
pick them anything, but I love
I think
the
one of my
Coachella
favorite-
group.
That'll be a fun, just fun. They're
I
gonna
would-
have fun.
I think one of my favorite groups that
Go
we
podcast
haven't.
golf with them.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite groups that we haven't talked about is the Chilean team, Mito Pereira
And
and
Neiman.
Joaquin Neiman.
That's
That's
Solid
a
too.
fire
Solid
group
one.
right there.
and they're
Neiman's playing just as good as anybody right now, and Mito, he hasn't quite fully coming around, but he's still playing really, 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 really good.
But that's what makes this tournament fun is like just groups like that, just to see like at some point, like with the veteran and younger guys, sometimes like that helps. But like the other question is like, do you start putting more pressure on yourself because you're playing with a peer or someone who's playing better? So like, and you can argue both ends of it, but just interesting to see how those dynamics come together.
That's why the Davis Riley Zalatoris group is so intriguing, I think, is because they haven't played here, but they know each other so well and they know each other's games so well that it's like.
And how many rounds have those guys played together? Like, way more than
some of these that I'm looking at are just fun to like. Danny Willett, Tyrell Hatton. Danny Willett plays well here, but Tyrell Hatton, crazy.
You do need to pick one.
I'm probably
Still
gonna
need to move on.
Exactly.
That's right. He's fine.
We need your black stallion.
My black stallion is going to be
I'm going to use
He has
that.
a
Keith Mitchell, Brant Snedeker.
All right.
Keith Mitchell,
I'm
Brant
unexcited about that.
That doesn't do.
I mean, I hope they do well just for you.
Doesn't
Actually, I really don't care. But
I mean,
at all.
I don't. Yeah. Realistically, my favorite pick, I couldn't pick.
oh, okay.
So just because they're at, what are they at right now?
Oh, that's not a dark horse.
That's not a pick.
That's not a black stallion.
It's not black
They're
stallion.
close. So yeah,
What are
Snedeker, Mitchell, 5,500.
Fair enough.
So jumping up, do we go outright winner? Yeah, because one and done has a little bit more explanation.
Oh, well, you already know my all right winners. Shane Lowry. And Ian Poulter.
That's
I know them.
There you go.
Hey! On the board. All right, Rhino.
Outright winners here. Two guys in the top 15 in the world. Billy Horschel, Sam Burns.
Good pick. That's a good pick. Another power couple. Two dudes playing good golf. Two dudes with wins this year. Burns has 2 wins. Horschel has 1.
Good. Depends on what the Masters are doing.
That's fair. I will just ride the top of the line favorite bandwagon. I'm going with Hovland Morikawa.
We need
Both of these guys play well in Ryder Cup.
What's it called? A daily double?
Presidents.
Yeah, we need a daily double because it doubles up the shots.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what we're doing.
Formats. Both of these guys are very good iron players. I expect them both to play well in the wind. Putter is where these two can get a little off, so I hope they hit it close enough that the putter doesn't matter, is ultimately what it comes down to. So ball striking, fairways, I don't really see too much of a concern for them. And they are the favorites, or tied for being the favorites. So,
Lindsay, what do you got?
Okay. So I went strictly based on the number.
Okay. Hey, numbers are great
I'm
too.
going with Fleetwood Garcia.
Such a good pick.
it is.
I love it.
And
I
then
love that pick.
Euro
Well,
partners.
you got to explain why the number.
Because I looked at the odds and I was like, okay, that's a pretty big range. I'm going to go with like 1,500. And guess who was closest to that? Fleetwood Garcia.
I like it.
Hey.
It made it simple.
I feel like
solid.
we're so doomed. We do this every week, and she's just going to
just come out
dominate.
swinging.
Yep, and it's not even going to matter.
Great.
And it's a really good pick because those two are two.
Sergio's playing well. Fleetwood
There are
hasn't
also
been.
names that I recognize.
Right, but like they've been both playing
And they
well, and they
play
both
in
play
this
this format well. It's kind of a scary good pick.
Are you going to type Coles in or just look at it?
Just gonna look at it.
Also, he's in here as admin and Ryan.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
I
at
have it
least this
open outside and then I have it
At least
open
he's
on
not
here
open
too.
as guest, which ruins it all.
Yeah, it does. It
I
does.
don't know if we ever figured out who was in there. It was probably Chase.
I like how Ryan just
Morikawa plus 1,800. That's because you can only pick one of the partners.
They're plus 800, by the way. I just don't understand how these guys aren't the favorites.
I don't either.
I mean, Scotty Scheffler is literally winning everything he plays in.
Hence the reason I pick.
No, I completely agree with it. I'm just like, I wasn't going to pick him simply from a standpoint of the group that I went with, but it's just like,
Yeah, that's fair.
That is fair.
Although
So
one and done, Palmer's a pretty smart pick because you don't lose
You don't,
Scheffler.
I mean, exactly.
that's a good
Exactly.
It's a
Ride
good
Scheffler, but don't pick him. That's exactly.
that's a good
the point.
preface into this. So
Coattailing it.
based off of our office football pool, our one and done picks. So you only pick one golfer this week, and you get half of that team's points. So, for example, Stoy has typed in here Palmer Scheffler. He would want to take Palmer in the situation so he can keep Scheffler for later on down the road. Burned me last year. It might have been a Cam Smith Leishman thing, and I took Cam. Now they ended up winning, so it was okay. But I burned Cam Smith when I could have just taken Leishman and got the exact same points.
Right.
So that's how that's broken up. So you only get half of those points. That's where it is. It's not the full points. So I kind of hinted at yours already because I think it's probably a smart pick. I think a lot of guys who are in one and done pools are potentially thinking very similar things. I think it's a really smart pick. I'd go with that.
And you're taking?
I'm taking.
So he's not going with it, but he's going to go with Burns.
Well, I'm taking
I
Sam
take
Burns.
it, but I'm not going to.
I mean, I'm taking Sam Burns just because I had him in a different tournament earlier on in the season, and I picked somebody else. Ended up working out for me, but I think
and
Burns Horschel.
Yep.
Burns Horschel, just a really, really good group. Both playing really good golf and in the top 15 in the world. So.
Yep, and I took Victor. I've already picked Colin for the year, so at this point,
partner.
just straight getting my ass kicked in that league. So
I had a good week, and I'm still didn't move up at all. So
Hey,
are you above me?
I'm
yet?
just better. I'm just better than both of you. That's all that I know. That's all that matters.
after this week, I have faith.
I mean,
that
Lindsay,
I
if
might
Lindsay
get out of
lands
that
anything
position.
this week, it's just going to be like whatever we pick, fade us. So the fact that she didn't pick anything we picked,
Actually, if she
she's in
would have
good shape.
if she would have picked like Rose Stenson, Mornay Smith, Zudenhout, Schwartzel, she might have done all right in her outright winners because our top 20 picks consistently or top 40 picks consistently do better than our outrights and our one and done picks.
Right. No,
For whatever reason.
We're not good at those.
when you're bad, you're bad. Isn't that what they say? Oh wait,
I mean,
You just know
I'm
your
pretty
strengths
bad.
and weaknesses.
Exactly.
but do we?
No.
I think that's the.
I mean, realistically though, if we're that's a long term thing. If we're betting every single week and we're betting on those top 40s, we're betting on some of those dark horses, different stuff like that.
Well, and to be
We'd be
fair,
making
the
some-
top 40s and 20s, they have to be plus odds. So
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
But we're still hitting on.
but we're better on
more
those
than
we
that.
are
we're way better
outright.
on those and fades.
That's why we fade the fade slice here at the golf.
So, but in
podcast.
betting, why is there not a fade option?
because it's
Why can't they do that?
because
hard to put value
more
on it.
golfers than not are fadeable.
Like 15 spots?
Like we have a better
there's
chance
gotta
at
be
hitting
a
a
thing.
fade than we do at hitting.
I know.
Just like
so
on the
give
golf
us some
course.
odds then.
Like,
give
we
me
have-
some. Let me put that in a parlay and be okay with it, and then lose it.
Right?
Right?
Fair.
Well, I mean, the only
But
thing
you
that
don't
they
have
really
that
have is to
many-
make or miss the cut.
Right, but you don't have as nearly as many gambling opportunities in golf as you do in other sports, from like same game parlay and stuff like
Right.
that.
There's just so much.
There's some
They could do more.
interesting. There's some
I
fun
bet they
stuff.
will.
Like,
It's also young. This is season 2.
But
of
you have
betting,
to have
right?
the interest.
there's some fun stuff though. Like there's some
I believe it.
nationality
For
stuff.
golf?
Best African, best
point.
People
Mexican.
just refuse
Especially
to
if
watch
Saudi
golf. I love
picks
to
up.
watch golf, but people will refuse to watch golf.
I know.
Golf is
My wife's one of them.
my number
She
one
said
sport,
snow.
but that doesn't happen for a lot of people.
Right.
It's fairly niche. So
It's fairly niche.
It's true.
I didn't
Right.
know you could bet on golf, so I learned something
Boom.
today.
And now
Yeah.
we have a new one. See, now she can start betting on golf. And not
You can
winning.
bet on
You know,
darn near anything.
so take it to the bank. Fleetwood Garcia gonna win by 7.
put everything
Might
you
shoot
have. The
30
house.
under this week.
Put the house on it.
The newbie is gonna take it down for sure.
I mean,
That's just how
Fleetwood's
betting
already
works.
finished second in this tournament, and I think Garcia might have been his partner that year.
I mean,
So,
it doesn't. I don't even care. It doesn't even
matter.
matter.
They
Like,
could
happening.
They could have one leg. They're
Yeah,
winning.
right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. News time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some
Golf news?
Golf news. Actually, Ryan, grab the bamboo and take the nipple off your glass.
He's used to. He sees
like-
nipples a lot.
It's
these days.
watery.
I do.
How watery it looks from the melting ice.
I do.
Oh, you know.
I mean,
There's
there's a lot
grab the
of shitty
bamboo
shots.
real quick, but we're gonna talk golf news.
Golf news.
What's your number one golf headline?
I don't have one.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
I mean, we're talking about nipples. We can slide that over to boobs. Nil. John Daly.
Oh, yeah, I said that earlier.
Oh, man.
That was him and his son got the Hooters partnership,
Yes, thank you.
which I thought Hooters was a dying company because it's
Well, in Iowa,
Ain't no
I
more.
guess.
It's not.
not. It is all the way up here. They're all gone.
Right.
No, I thought
Picked
it
up in the
was.
South.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
I
that's
thought
why
so
they picked
too.
it.
Yeah.
I thought they were going
I didn't know
bankrupt.
Hooters was still around.
So, the whole thing started with the week of the Masters.
Yeah.
John Daly, not at the Masters, hanging out at a Hooters, eating wings and doing things
So
because it
random.
rhymes. And then that basically became his son getting an NIL deal with his dad,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah, what? How?
completely random.
So like a
but,
sponsorship and an NIL.
right. For Hooters.
For
and
Hooters.
they took pictures, and it was all over Twitter today, which is, I mean, it was basically just like match made in heaven. Like, there's not a better representative of Hooters than
Because he's from
the Dalys.
Arkansas. He goes to Arkansas.
Yeah.
University of Arkansas.
They're
and looks
Southern
just
as
like his
hell.
dad, and like obviously his dad is Hooters, 100% Hooters. Like, he's got a 5-year plan.
Right.
What is it? Don't die? Yes. You know, like, I mean, so like saw that.
That's true.
and it's great.
It
and
is funny.
Like, Twitter obviously ate it up today, but like absolutely deserved.
It makes sense. That's why Hooters jumped all over it.
So, but
That makes sense.
I don't know.
That
Hooters.
was
Where are Hooters?
I can't tell you where there is.
Hooters in Texas.
I don't think I've seen one there in a while.
closest.
Okay, we don't have any Hooters left in Iowa. The
Like
last
the
one
ones I
got
knew in
taken over by
Illinois.
Jeff.
There's Council Bluffs.
Has-
That makes sense.
That doesn't count for Iowa.
Lincoln.
You can have it.
no, that's in Iowa.
Is that on the Iowa
Literally says
side?
Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Are you sure?
Yeah, and then there's one in La Vista, Nebraska, which also tracks. Those are the closest. So there was one in Iowa and one in Nebraska.
I mean, because we don't even have like a Twin Peaks here anymore,
No.
which came after Hooters.
There was one just
and
down the
then
road.
left way faster.
I just know we had problems with Twin Peaks in
What happened?
Texas. Like there was like a shootout or something.
Oh,
at
yeah,
Twin
that
Peaks.
also tracks.
But yeah,
that tracks.
I mean, still
Yeah.
viable enough
Yeah,
to support
absolutely.
it.
Do a sponsorship.
Nil deal. So
Interesting.
NIL is just it's
blowing
Insane.
up everywhere, changing everything.
Jealous.
I think that-
I like to see that it's impacting other sports besides like basketball and football, because that makes me feel a little bit better about how it's somewhat going
Helpful.
to ruin the main sports, but at least we see it helping in other areas.
the one thing that's crazy and that's weird though is you get these outside boosters that are basically paying for these kids.
That's been happening for a long time.
Yes,
Well,
but now
we know that, but now it's like
Wrong. Ding 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 ding.
so for
We have
I
a winner.
guess the big reason that I bring it up is it does not happen in wrestling.
not.
It really doesn't.
Why? Too
Not
much
mainstream.
too much integrity.
It's I don't know, but now you have
That's what Ryan's
these.
gonna
I
say.
just don't
So
think
for
you
ex-
hear about
We're
it.
just too good at people.
I just think you don't hear about it because the NCAA is not going after wrestlers.
So you have the scholarships, you have
don't
different
hear about
stuff
it
like
because it's not
that.
happening probably.
But it's the
Or like
transfer
happening
portal
very-
thing along with the NIL.
Well,
That's-
right, but like, what are you going to have? A headgear deal or a singlet deal? Like,
Red Bull?
you know, it's like basketball shoes are the
you're
big
right.
thing. In
But there's
basketball.
tons of stuff like, so for example, there's Scrap Life, which is a clothing company, different stuff like that.
Never
They
heard
have
of it.
shoes.
Not once.
irrelevant.
People are making a lot of money.
Off a mill?
Milwaukee Tools loves wrestling.
Oh, that makes sense. So it's like racing community then.
Probably.
Milwaukee Tools loves wrestling. Real Tree has sponsored wrestlers in the past, different stuff like that.
These all track. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, they all track, but at the same time, what it's not is it's
is
not these
Real Tree?
sponsorships or anything
What
like
is
that.
Real Tree?
Real Tree
It's like
camo,
hunting.
Yeah,
Hunting
okay,
stuff.
okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
fishing, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time,
Antlers and the camo. Yeah,
but okay, so
sorry,
reverse
mortgage
course
world.
though.
My head went
Reverse
to
course though. Like there's a guy. The
I was
biggest
like,
thing. There's a guy from
Lending
Stanford.
Tree. What?
There's a guy that from Stanford now. A lot of people want to wrestle for the Hawkeyes, different stuff. But
Real Woods.
He's had a ton of success at Stanford, but I don't know what NIL deal is he getting in Iowa. He's not really
Is
getting
he not
that. It's
getting
just-
a Real Tree deal? Real Woods isn't getting a Real Tree deal.
He probably will. We're
He's not
speaking it into
capitalizing on
existence.
that. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
We're speaking this into existence right
I mean,
now.
he
He's
literally
probably
was
going to.
named after the
10%.
brand.
I'll That's all we ask for.
But
It's
there's
the
it's
brand.
stuff.
He is the brand.
But the worst part is there's coaches, there's boosters. Well, not coaches per se, but there's boosters calling these kids, regardless if they're in the transfer portal or not, saying, "Hey, I'll give you X amount of deals or X amount of dollars to come here."
But like we don't think like wrestling is niche enough that like not all colleges wrestle, and like so it's a lot smaller community and a lot closer knit. We don't think that Iowa wasn't taking care of their national championship
Absolutely
wrestling
were.
teams
Sure they were.
behind the
Absolutely.
scenes.
So I'm not saying that there's not boosters and there's not stuff that where that happens. I'm
People
not
just
saying
don't
that.
care about wrestling, so they're not even going to report
That's
it.
what I'm saying. They're not going to go
But
after
the
it.
number, what's
I'm
the
definitely
fastest?
not
What's the
watching
fastest
wrestling.
growing sport
Just saying.
in the world?
Soccer.
Women's wrestling.
dying.
Women's wrestling, fastest growing
Yeah,
sport
but
in the
like
world.
that's
And
that has
the
nothing to do
country,
with the
not
booster.
world.
yeah, it is.
No.
What's growing
You
faster?
need to fact check yourself, probably. I
What's
don't
growing
know.
faster?
I can't imagine.
Growing
what that
faster
would be.
because it's going from 0 to a number. That is clearly going to be
Yeah,
fastest.
growth. Right.
I didn't know
All
women's
arguable.
wrestling was a thing.
There is D1 schools.
She's a woman.
And an
She
athlete.
just said that she doesn't. She just said nothing about wrestling. That's
Yeah, she won't watch
That's
wrestling
what,
because
that's what
it's
I'm
so
saying.
niche.
look at the
watched it.
metrics.
Yes, when you go from
Like, what are we
0 to
watching
1,
now?
that's 100% growth. No, nothing can compete against that.
It's not that. It's numbers. It's different stuff like that. I'm not talking. But when you go from 0 to 38 states in less than, I think it's
I
3
agree with
years.
the- I agree
Tell
with
me
the-
that.
like,
Tell me any
US.
sport that's done that.
U.S.
Any
The
sport that's
world?
done that, we don't know because we didn't track them back in the
Probably like women's softball.
1400s.
Yeah, but like women's softball is probably. I would.
It's got to be
actually
dying.
assume it's dying.
Yeah.
It's got to be going the other way.
I personally think softball is one of the funnest sports to watch on
And
the
it absolutely
planet.
is.
I
It's
just watched.
like, I
Texas
umpired
beat
it for 10
Oklahoma.
years.
Oklahoma was 38-0
Yeah,
going into last
Texas beat
weekend.
'em.
Texas beat them.
That's so fun.
it's such a great sport.
But
It is really
Oklahoma
good.
So
is
underrated.
like there's somebody helping those girls come to Oklahoma.
A
sure.
quadrillion percent.
Yeah, but not. They just don't have to help to the point. Like one booster can help the whole Oklahoma softball team.
Correct.
Oh, probably.
Correct.
Whereas like it's one booster per football player.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So like that's the difference. And
If it's quarterback, maybe 2.
so I saw this tying it back into golf. So Scheffler's caddy has made more than the number one. So I can't remember who it is. Jennifer Kupcho
Yeah.
is the number one
LPGA.
golfer on the LPGA.
Yeah. She's
She's made 890,000, and Scheffler's caddy's made 900 and some
something.
thousand. So he has made more than the number one.
Not
And like
playing.
everybody's up in arms about that, and it's just like that's just a fact of like until your sponsors change.
I do have a golf thing. I just sorry.
Like it's not going to
Yeah.
matter.
Right.
But like that's the whole thing is like as a 100 millionaire, I can be like, oh, you know what? I love Oklahoma softball. I will take care of the team. And like same thing, Drake basketball, locally speaking,
literally it happened.
like they have a booster who gave when Jenny Baranchek was here, gave $5 million to build a brand new facility, take care and make sure the coaches stayed, and gave $1 million directly to the head coach to keep her here. She still ended up leaving to go to Oklahoma a year later.
Right.
And that booster went to Oklahoma and gave her money at Oklahoma because she's so like those people follow people, first of all, and second of all, like it takes one person. One. Like,
Absolutely.
and there's a lot of ones
Yeah.
out there in sports that nobody cares about or follows. Like wrestling, it happens. Like somebody's giving somebody money
I'm not.
Absolutely.
I never said that they're not giving them money.
or a car.
What I said though
House,
is
apartment.
you're not typically what's not happening in the past, regardless if people NIL has opened up so many doors for boosters to just call me up and say, if I was a great wrestler, they'd just call me up and say, hey, I'll give you $500,000 if you come to Penn State.
But like
And we'll label it as NIL and you'll be able to come there.
right,
That's
but like
not
even 50,000
that's-
these days. Like to be able to make that phone call and be like, "Yo, you want 25,000 a year to go to college on top of all of the other things
Stuff.
that you get."
Right.
Like
Now there's
that's
boosters
easy.
funding the scholarships. There's boosters doing that. That's always happened. I'm not saying that
Right.
I'm not saying that those like Penn State, yeah, they have plenty of boosters where
Right.
Oklahoma State
lost a
plenty of
couple.
boosters where
There were some things that they lost a few, but it's fine.
not wrestling.
No, they as a school they lost them.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, but not, yeah.
They lost
And
a couple.
I think that might be the one thing that may be a little
lawsuits.
different, though.
They didn't really go well.
With
not.
wrestling being so niche, they stay. Like, I'd stay with Hawkeye. I might not go from Drake to Oklahoma with a coach. It just, nope, I'm going to stay here and just be that person.
But, like, I feel like wrestlers have a little bit more of that as far as, like, I mean, like, look at Penn State last year. How many guys on their 12 dudes that made the national championship, or was it 10?
10 weights, yeah.
10 weights. Half of them were transfers. 4 of them? At least 3 or 4.
So at least 2 of those transfers, though, are grad transfers. So
Well,
graduate
they still
transfers.
transferred,
But
though.
that's if that's different than just transferring your second year into college.
Well, wrestling's also different in the fact that, like, you're not going pro in anything, so, like, you're going to stay through 5-6
Right.
years, because what are you going to do? Go to the
but
Olympics?
it's different than if I'm a sophomore and I'm just leaving just to transfer.
Yeah, this happens every time. Back to golf.
Sorry,
Golf
if I
news.
didn't know anything about wrestling, we wouldn't have to talk about wrestling. I know just enough to be dangerous, and I like to get into it. Ryan.
Gets into it. Yeah. Now that we're back to golf news.
Golf.
J.R. Smith
Yep.
signing NIL deal.
With
J.R. Smith, former NBA player.
Yep.
Signing.
And current college athlete.
Yep. Collegiate golfer.
Athlete.
Lululemon.
No, with Lululemon.
Lululemon. Yeah.
A dude?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The first. I think it's the first male.
Have you witnessed? Well, like the Euro style is coming to the PGA Tour now.
Yeah.
So everybody's wearing no socks,
Joggers.
and,
High waters.
elastic
Joggers.
joggers.
Yes.
Is like, it's not taking over, but like it's becoming more prevalent.
Eric Van Rooyen is
Makes you
like you see pictures of that dude wearing it all the time.
it's just an eye roll, but it is what it is. But yes, J.R. Smith.
Awesome.
Is it worse though for a guy to wear those than it is for Poulter to wear some of the pants that he wears, or Daly to wear those pants and like making a statement, those kind of things?
Yeah, but those are more traditional in golf.
Right. Like I
The
would wear
loud
those,
plants are
but,
it's tradition. It's been around.
and like they're like more marketable.
You're not
I don't
gonna wear
even know
some
if
loose?
That's not true.
No, but I would wear
More
some loud
marketable?
ass golf pants. Which I mean,
I would buy
like
one
that's
once.
the name of Daly's line of
Yeah.
clothing is like loud
loud.
golf or something like that
Oh.
is his, and it's just his designer.
To be fair,
Crazy
if
shirts
it
and
was
pants.
legal, J.R. Smith would golf without a shirt on.
Oh yeah,
So, is what it is.
Gentleman's game.
He just likes taking his shirt off, so it's fine.
well yeah, but like that comes from being an NBA player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like shirts and skins. He's like, yeah,
skins,
bro.
skins. No, we're going black and red jerseys. No,
Like,
skins.
yeah, skins. Oh, I mean, he fits black, right? Yeah.
Does it? You're right. It's just all right. All right. Any more news?
There's definitely
week's-
some more news out there.
Next
but
week's an important week. NFL draft.
it is.
I think we'll be speaking about it next week, probably a little more in depth. But everyone get prepared.
So I mean,
Football
there's
season.
so much out there with free agency that's happened. Is like it's almost put a damper on the draft just because of guys sitting out, guys signing huge contracts, like
Did you see,
unreasonably large contracts. We've got 3 receivers sitting out right now: Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, and AJ Brown, all sitting out with 1 year left on their deals.
They're sitting out, and we still have 3 big receivers that are not signed.
right because they want contracts
That
that have already
Tyreek
been
got.
signed.
Yeah.
And the receiver market is either going to blow completely
I think it's going to crash.
out, or this is
This is
the
it.
stand.
This is it. Has to
And
be.
it goes back to where it should be.
But I also think then the cornerback side is now getting hot with Denzel Ward signing with the Browns.
Yeah,
a
but that's so
5-year,
much harder to find.
$100 million, 71 guaranteed.
But like, is
I
he worth
get
it?
it. I don't know.
More so than a receiver, though. Like a lockdown corner is way
agreed.
tougher to
if
find.
we're comparing
than
receivers and cornerbacks, 100%. 100%.
like I feel like that
But-
market deserves to be overpaid way more than a receiver market
Agreed.
does.
no, wholeheartedly.
And so
You're
like
right.
those
You're
guys sitting out, even though like I would agree that those 3 dudes are like
Rece-
it on
dude,
their rosters.
Do big time receivers turn into what running backs are now? Dime a dozen?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think to that point.
because the game hasn't change.
Right. Well, and you
passing.
look at like what specifically, like you look at a Deebo Samuel, like what he brings. I mean, he's a running back. He could be a returner. He's like
Of
he's
his
the heart and soul of an offense.
Of all the holdouts, I believe in the Debo one more
Right.
because of how the utilization and not paying him what his
but like
what is
AJ
he?
Brown when he's healthy and
Yeah, well,
When he's healthy.
When he's healthy.
all right, but he's been healthy 80% of the time. It's not like he hasn't been Julio.
But he's still young.
Hey, Julio's not our
But he's
team.
much younger than Julio. Like that's the thing. He's so young and he's already having this 80% of the time
But
injuries.
then like McLaurin's
that could just
came out of
deteriorate.
nowhere
Yeah,
in
what is that about?
Washington. But he's
That
had
one
2 career years in a row, so he wants to get paid.
Yeah, but
Everybody's getting paid now in the NFL though.
That's
and so
the
like
issue.
if everybody's getting paid,
I want
you
mine.
bet your ass I'm getting paid like the next guy up mentality. I mean, how much is Kirk
McLaurin, I think,
How
is
much is Kirk
facing a
Cousins getting
franchise
paid?
tag.
Do we know?
Jeez, too
20,
much.
20 million, 40 million. I mean, Ryan Tannehill's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now.
It's
Pardon my
ridiculous.
French.
It's ridiculous. Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, if anybody wants to hold out, like, who am I to tell him not to when that guy's the highest paid guy?
Which
in
is
the
also
NFL?
why AJ's kind of like,
Well, did you
like,
the report was that
do you know who
all of
my
a sudden
quarterback
he wasn't
is?
a good teammate and stuff
Right.
like that, and it's just like, yeah, as soon as a guy holds out, he's not a good teammate.
Teammate.
It's like, well, yeah, you're paying my quarterback how much, and he lost us a playoff game last year that there's no way we should have lost.
no, lost money on it.
Right.
We all did. It was an easy one in the parlay.
That was the easy one.
I don't know. Terry McLaurin though is technically
This is a good
wouldn't
talk
he
about
be
the draft.
wouldn't Terry
This is
McLaurin
a
be
good
the
talk about the draft.
wouldn't
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin be the
draft and
face
then
of
left.
Redskins kind of?
We're gonna go that way. Huh?
I just don't.
Terry
First of all,
McLaurin-
who are the Redskins?
No.
Sorry,
Doesn't
the
exist anymore.
Commanders.
That's why we were ignoring you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause
we
you
don't
can't say the
settle.
team.
We don't settle for that type of drama.
AKA the
The
football team.
face
AKA
of that team,
Who is?
their defense. Their top 4 defenders. That's about it. That's all I got,
But
and I can't remember
Name-
the names.
exactly, you can't remember names. The one
I can see them.
basically the name
Well,
that
like,
we're
their
saying
DN's
is Terry
legit.
McLaurin.
But like going back to the draft, like,
The Packers have to draft 7 wide receivers.
all right, but like not only that, but like who, like Aiden Hutchinson is the talk of the draft.
Not really. I haven't even heard him much
He's
because he's the outright number one.
Or
It's everyone
Thibodeau
else.
from Oregon.
Kayvon Thibodeau. That's
it's
like
the
back
quarterback
and
stuff.
forth.
Well, like
been
that's the
interesting.
thing. Like everybody wants to talk quarterbacks. There's no good quarterbacks in this draft.
But
If
they
they get
always wanna
drafted, they're
talk it.
getting overdrafted.
Yes,
And
unless
like,
they go in the second or
the
third.
best athletes in this draft are linemen, defensive and offensive. Which I mean can be the case most of the time, but like this one specifically.
Then you got Gardner or whatever his name is from Cincinnati. Sauce Gardner, I think is his name. Who's
defensive back. Yeah,
yeah.
shut down.
a
They've
couple
got
good-
2 defensive backs that are going to get drafted.
There's a couple of tight ends that tested out of the waters, but
Right.
production on the field wasn't
well, like
the same.
so we just list all those names. Like none of those names move the needle.
No,
And
it's-
so, like from a draft perspective, it's like I'm not saying there's not some. Probably is actually a lot of really good pros. Probably more than maybe some other drafts, even because you're not taking the quarterback that might be a
A high
bust
name,
or
yeah.
the receiver that might be a bust, but you're actually having to take like, oh, that cornerback is going to be productive. That defensive lineman is going to be productive.
it would be
like,
it'll be cool to see this draft in 5 years of how many in the first round are still in the league in starters.
Right.
Because it probably to me will be a bigger number than the average.
is it going to be a lot of like best available rather
Absolutely.
than
Well,
we
That's what
have this quarterback
I hope.
need. We have this quarterback need, but we don't love anybody this draft. So maybe we pick some guy in the late rounds that
So you
suffices.
get more
and
trades in this
it-
draft because of that.
no, you probably get less.
Less?
What do you need to move for?
Well, that's the question. Is like,
I think
who's
there's
desperate
maybe
enough
some
to
guys
move?
moving.
Who's the one to move for?
I think the Lions might move for Hutchison or Thibodeau.
Well, like that, I mean, that ultimately becomes the question: is like, are you patient enough to take best available, knowing
That's
that guy's
the game.
probably going to be solid
That's the game.
because you're not overdrafting any of the quarterbacks, but
Hopefully,
ultimately a quarterback's going to get overdrafted. I mean, it's going to happen.
let's just make
But,
sure
like,
it's out.
Are you
past
going
the
to
eighth
draft
pick, please.
properly running backs? Like, I think the running back class is actually very strong, but the trend of running backs has been to late first round, early
Second.
second at best. So do people find that running back earlier now? Does that trend start to move itself back the other way out of necessity, or do people continue to take quarterbacks in the top 15 picks that are second, third, fourth round picks normally? That's to me the big question is how desperate do teams get, and because there's not technically a first round quarterback of the bunch from a grading perspective this year.
I think heavily weighted
No, they're like
offensive line. That's what I'm saying.
best.
Heavily weighted offensive line is what it's going to be because there's so many skill players getting.
But there's so many
Paid?
good young quarterbacks that you need to start protecting them,
Right.
or continue protecting them.
And there's so many skill players that are getting paid where they're not. Teams aren't jumping out to these big name free agent linemen all the time to build with veterans. Now they're trying to get these rookies, these younger guys that can play.
It's interesting is because the receiver class was weak when all of these quarterbacks that are now aging, they didn't have all-time receivers. They just didn't. They had the older receivers who are on cheaper contracts producing. These young ones now had these young old quarterbacks now that are gone. The older statesman is the skill set of the receivers now. They're getting these big contracts, but now we're cycling through a new younger generation of quarterbacks, and they're not going to have the production.
Right.
The receivers aren't, because they don't have the quarterback now.
Right.
And that's this whole give and take. The teams that are able to have the teammates that understand that, hey, I'm going from we'll just, take the Falcons, for example, because it's the only one I can think of. We're going from a Matt Ryan to a nobody. Sorry, I can't do that. I had to. Sorry, Marcus. Sorry, Mariota. You're not a nobody. But that level is different, so Pitts will not be as productive, in theory, right? So that's the conversation.
Or he'll be a safety blanket.
Right?
In theory, he might be the next George Kittle or something like that because he's going to be a safety blanket and he's right now.
Right.
Who else?
Well, that's because there's no one else on the Falcons
Right.
at all. But if we're looking at, the Chiefs or anybody like that, you lose somebody. If they lost Mahomes, their receivers are not going to be as productive. Kelsey won't be there as productive, right? So now you see him lose Hill, which I don't think there'll be a big drop off on their offense. I think they'll be able to spread it out and do a lot more different things. Now Hill goes to the Dolphins, and he's supposed to be that guy, but he doesn't have that quarterback, and you'll see his production. But now you're paying an above average receiver way too much money, elite level, and he won't have elite production because you don't have a quarterback.
Lindsay,
That's
who's your
where they're
favorite football team?
Oh, I'm a Bears fan.
I'm sorry. Well, so we don't have to talk
I'm
about
sorry,
that.
what?
Like, how long have you been a Bears fan? Like
my whole life.
yeah, right. So, apologizing. Like,
She's
Okay,
from there.
I'm from there.
She's from Illinois.
You fair enough can apologize because you're just used to
Are
8
you like a
and 8
Packers
seasons.
fan or what?
no,
No.
I'm a Cowboys fan.
You're just used to 500 seasons.
Like, I'm apologetic to myself. He's a Falcons fan. Like, we're all pretty. He's a Vikings fan, which might be the worst
yeah,
of all.
sorry.
So, right.
Yeah, okay.
See? Oh, wait.
Whoa, now who's apologizing?
I will tell you, it's a really different dynamic being in Dallas now.
Okay.
So I live in Frisco, right? Like,
Yeah.
their practice facility is in my hometown
Yep.
now.
Right.
So it's hard to not be a fan and be there.
How
Is it?
could you be a fan? I could just.
I'm curious,
So like back
like-
in the day, like Emmitt Smith was like my.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's Emmett. All about Emmett.
Right.
I wore 22 in high school because of Emmett.
Yes, exactly.
It's Emmett. I mean,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with Dallas. That's just.
Yeah.
But, like, you're not a fan of Ezekiel.
No.
Yeah, thanks.
He's
But
not
we're
a good dude.
But we're big Pollard fans.
Big what?
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
The backup running back.
I don't.
Who's better than
He's better than Ezekiel. So, like,
Zeke.
I've been trying
Zeke
to
has
trade
like a-
Ezekiel for 3 years, and they just haven't done it. So,
Zeke
like,
has
I haven't
a
listened to
punch
Cole
in the face.
whatsoever.
yeah, they don't listen to me at all.
Zeke
What about
has a-
Dak? What's your feelings on Zach?
I love Dak.
Okay. See, like, gosh.
But he's
like
not good.
Dak is
Campbell's.
probably.
He's not bad.
I would
I
say
love soup.
Pat Mahomes is my favorite quarterback,
Yeah.
and then Dak is my second favorite.
Okay.
Like I think the world of him. He's a good dude.
Okay. She's all about. Like,
I think
the
Dak's a better
character
dude than.
people.
Yeah,
than
I am all about
Mahomes.
character people.
Character.
I will tell you, so we
Just
were at the
saying.
draft a couple years ago,
Oh, okay.
and I can tell you that the person that went number 1 overall, not my favorite, not a big fan.
How many years ago?
What draft was this? You just said a couple years ago.
I know. I gotta
It
think
doesn't
which
help.
year it was.
Who was it? How about that?
It's Kyler Murray. I'm not
Oh,
a Kyler Murray
no,
fan.
clearly. I don't think the NFL's really fond of him right now either.
I just think he was super arrogant. Like Byron and I have
Bitch.
this discussion all the time. Like
It
he's
shows.
super arrogant, and I can't stand that. Like you had to choose between.
He has little man
being
syndrome.
He does.
That's what it is. It's little man syndrome. He's 5'4".
Yeah.
I love
like-
this perspective.
It's awesome, and it's funny how like where now Kyler is in the
Oh,
role
right.
and
Like,
where
just
she's
seeing
saying like
that,
I just
like-
couldn't.
No, there was nothing.
So
about
like
him that I
Baker
could support.
Mayfield's your third favorite quarterback.
No. Like, I don't think he's a bad
Huge
guy.
Johnny Manziel
No, but
fan.
like I mean, same idea. It's just like he's
Yeah.
just
Not a
thinks
bad
he's
guy, but you know.
a lot better than he has proven to be.
Yeah.
That's fair.
He's going to the Panthers.
But
Watch
like,
it happen.
how do you feel about the Bears? Like, do you have
I feel
confidence
good about the Bears.
this year?
What
Yeah.
what
You like
possibly gives
you
you
like
that
their
feeling?
quarterback? Okay.
So he's like my third favorite, but like I really want him to be the number one spot.
Okay. So like you want him to
Like-
do so well that you can't not put him number one.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, as you should as a Bears fan.
Yes, as a homer, that's
You
what
know
I
how
Like,
like.
do you have
excited I
confidence
was?
every year going into like a Bears season, or do you have realistic
No, I
expectations?
have realistic expectations.
So
Like I
okay,
will tell you, when we got him, I was like jumping up and down in my
Oh.
living room, and that has never happened.
okay, so
Really?
having realistic expectations.
Yikes! I don't lie.
What do you think about what do you think about what their GM said, saying if they don't win the North, this is his last year, he'll resign.
As he should.
Good riddance.
Thank you.
Like as he should. Like,
Yeah, you should.
thank
Like
you
you
for
need to
saying that
say
and
that.
putting that out there because he should.
They did some overhaul in the front office this year.
They did.
I mean,
Well, you know why? Because
this
they have
year-
Ryan Pace.
Yes.
Ryan
I mean,
Pace is now on the
Packers-
Falcons, so
the
that's
Packers
great.
don't have anybody for Rodgers to throw to. The Vikings are the Vikings, and the Lions are the Lions. Like, the Bears need to take that step.
If they don't, we've got bigger problems.
Like step to like. What do you mean step?
Like to
'Cause
win the
they're
North.
not the Lions.
No,
Oh, to win the North.
I mean,
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
okay.
Like, this is the like.
I didn't know what
I
step
don't
you were.
think Super Bowl is a realistic expectation.
I don't think it's a realistic expectation.
Right. Like,
Focus. Let's just focus on the playoffs. Wild card.
I mean, yeah, Falcons.
I
right?
think that
No,
I think
no.
What's your
number one
realistic
pick.
expectation
Like
for the Vikings?
4 or 5 wins is the
for
Falcons.
the Vikings.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm curious to see what O'Connell does and brings.
Well,
'cause
like,
it's
are they
just overall.
NFC North champions?
They talent wise are the best team in the North.
Okay. So realistic
They're a
is
playoff team.
to win the North.
Yeah,
Okay.
They're a playoff team.
but I would.
As
put
my
them at playoff
realistic
I think
expectation would be for Dallas to win the East again.
I think
Would
what-
you be a playoff? You're a playoff team.
But
Not
like,
win the East, but do you be like? Because
Yeah.
there's a difference between playoff team and winning the East.
Well,
They
like-
should win the East.
Dallas should
Who
be
the hell's
good.
there?
Like with their defense being what
Eagles-
they are and the
Eagles
amount
will
of
win.
money they've spent on their offense, like
They
my
should be.
expectations should be higher.
Should be, but it's
But
the
like
Cowboys.
the reality of the last 25 years, as I say that, throw up in my mouth a little bit, is that without
screw it
Jerry
up.
Jones being removed from the building, we are what we are,
yeah, once he dies, it'll be different.
which is a fancy looking team with some good players that's fun to watch 70% of the time, but not when it matters.
And the newsreels are good.
Oh, but also put in, but only play your stars.
Spoken like a true Friskin.
It is.
Friskin.
She's from Frisco.
I didn't know that they called them Friskins.
Frisconian, probably.
Frisconite.
Frisconite. Let's
No,
not go with that
she
one. That
knew what I
sounds
was
terrible.
referencing
It just
when I said it.
it just doesn't have a good ring to it.
Yeah.
But
I'm just glad.
I'm just
To
trying to
tie
figure out
in-
all of the.
End of show golf football. The announcement on June 1st. Tom Brady
The goats versus the future.
goes. What'd you say the other day though? Gunslingers versus the
It's gunslingers versus
the
accuracy.
goats. Or yes,
Yeah.
yes. So Tom Brady playing with Aaron Rodgers in the 6th edition, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And they are playing against Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in a 12-hole best ball event that will be mic'd up live on TV. Super pumped when I saw that.
NFC versus AFC.
Why?
So Tom Brady tweeted the day before
Oh, it was awesome.
and
That was awesome.
just tagged those three. And Twitter went wild because nobody knew at that point what was getting announced.
Did you see?
And so, like, people were.
Did you see Tom Brady's tweet with Allen,
Allen.
with the little baby?
Watching
Did you
this
see
thing.
Allen's response?
He's just like, I'm glad that I wasn't.
In TB12
in
gear.
TB12 12 gear.
Yes, right. So he at least dressed him up as a Buffalo Bill. But
You guys, in golf, we know this. Experience matters. The elder statesmen of Rodgers and Brady have been playing a lot.
and they've played in
this
this
before.
event, right?
And now we're throwing some young guns in. It should not be close unless these guys are
Yeah,
Seth
but we
Curry.
know Mahomes. Yeah, but we know Mahomes and Allen are just gonna go. I mean, they're gonna throw it out there, bud.
I believe Allen is a bet. I think Mahomes will end up shanking the hell out of a couple. I think Mahomes is more solid.
Isn't he pretty good?
I thought he was pretty good too.
I'm pretty sure Mahomes has been playing
Like, he's
pretty well in
been
his
in
pro-ams.
celebrity things,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
like I think he's pretty
He's
good.
been in more celebrity events. Like he's
you go.
been on TV. I'm just
That's
saying
the thing.
that those two dudes aren't going out there and not just gonna just. I mean, they're gonna swing the club as hard as they can.
Like, that's what I
It's
said.
made
Absolutely.
for TV from a perspective of like.
They're the
Josh
gunslingers.
Allen might hit the ball 375.
Right, they're gonna
Does
play
he know where
golf
it's
like
going?
they
I don't
I
know.
really hope they come out and don't go drivers and they're just going 2 irons or something.
If they do,
and out
they will
driving the
get-
old guys. They
No,
won't.
they
but
won't.
I'm saying that would be funny.
I would boo the TV.
What course is it? I guess I didn't look that. I
It's
just
the same one. It's
Is it
Vegas. The win in Vegas.
Yeah.
So they have to have the long drive stuff, different stuff for charity.
right.
That'll be awesome.
And I mean, it's still the 12 holes, which I would like to actually see that go 18. Like,
Why is it 12?
in Montana? TV time,
time.
like those.
I was gonna say,
the,
that seems
the
so
18 hole
random.
rounds.
He'll probably still play
So
18
long.
for like their own private
right.
betting purposes.
Yeah.
So yeah, super pumped. I think that's a great.
It'd be cool to have like some sort of extra
gonna be fun.
pay-per-view purchase or something
It'll
like
be-
that for the last 6
I'm
holes.
most
bonus
excited
holes.
because we don't know how Mahomes and Allen talk shit. Truthfully, we don't know how much.
We also don't really know
Shit
how they
talkers.
golf.
No, that too.
I mean, we can anticipate how.
But
they
we
golf,
know how
but-
Rodgers and Brady talk shit and play golf.
Correct.
So it's gonna be it's gonna be fun.
But those two golf similarly. I feel like Rodgers and Brady. So like they're going to complement each other well. Do you think that like is Allen left-handed golfing? Because in the Twitter,
correct.
he was left-handed.
Left-handed.
So I was like, wait, does he golf?
I don't know. I don't know nothing
Because
about
that'd be
Allen.
cool.
golf.
Like I was like watching the lefty. Like you throw
Yeah.
a little lefty zest in there. Like
Yeah.
perfect. Like, but that's tying in
The research king is on it.
Fun
He's
fact,
freaking out right
was
Right.
at practice last night. I'm guaranteeing this. Lincoln is a
on
left-footed
it.
soccer player.
Oh,
I-
beautiful.
How the what?
That's all
How the
right.
hell's that
So we had
happen?
our first T-ball game a couple weeks ago.
Looks like he's a righty.
practices. I had a couple kids the first couple at bats come up to the left side of the plate, hit the ball, run, and like third at bat, dad yells from the stands like, "Hey, he's right-handed!" And I'm like, switch him over to the other. He didn't hit it as good as like,
No, he's a lefty.
"Hey, he's lefty!"
Nope, he's lefty.
he's only 5 years old. You just don't know yet.
Yeah.
Like, let me put him over here. It'll be better if we keep him
Yes.
left-handed. So, first practice Thursday night this week. We're actually appears to be going to
Yeah.
get a practice in. We've tried
Nice.
4.
Well, you had a
Weather?
game.
We've had a
We
game.
didn't have
already.
a game. We've only had practice.
We've had 3 canceled practices, 1 game, and we're going to get our first practice in before our game on Saturday. So we'll
Nice.
have 2 games and 1 practice. It's T-ball, but they listen well, and that's ultimately all you can ask.
Yeah.
Between 4
Absolutely.
and 6, if they listen, like it's a success. So
Yeah.
first game was an overall winner. Like we made some outs at first base even.
No,
in
did you
T-ball.
win?
You don't keep score. Everybody gets a trophy, remember? We got to remember the times we live in.
You're the coach. You keep score. I keep score.
Like everybody scores.
Oh,
So
they just
whoever-
keep going?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
wow.
you can make outs, but nobody gets out.
Oh.
So it's like whoever has the most
I
players
think
wins
it's
the
really
game.
hard to keep score.
Yeah,
So you have to go by outs.
right. So
We had the most outs we
made
made.
more outs.
Oh,
than
you
them.
won. It's game over. You won.
And so
Good
like,
job, coach.
that's all coaching
100%. 100%.
or experience of the kids that you're coaching. And so like my kids seem to have a little more experience. So good job out of them. Like we literally almost threw a ball and caught it at first base, and I was just like, that just happened.
We should go up.
Cole's
Okay,
hitting,
no, no.
Cole's hitting fungos at his kids
Right.
in the yard.
You should wait till Thursday.
All right, Ryan.
Close us.
Hey, actually,
that.
before Ryan closes, if you are still listening, which there's no way someone is still live watching this, but
Probably
if
not.
you are, tune in tomorrow. Go to our website, blackmammoth.com. Not our website, but our website. Get it? Because we're
Yeah.
not the
Got
okay.
it.
And come check
Our?
us out. Our.
That was an
Blackmammoth.com. We're going to be live podcasting from 11 a.m. tomorrow on Wednesday, 4/20, to 5 p.m.
Do we get
And-
to smoke them if
I
we've
feel
got
like I
them?
just found out that timeline right now.
No, I said it's been sent. We literally discussed it on our Monday meeting.
She was on a plane.
I flew today.
She doesn't. Oh, you were
She
so
went-
tired you didn't remember.
No, she
That's
came from 72 to 42.
I'd like to blame the
she's
mask,
got
but
an
she
excuse.
didn't have to wear one.
We're live all day tomorrow talking about money mindset and money in general. We'll have some live guests, both from the professional sector, but also small business owners. So come check it out. If not, it'll be recorded. It'll
Kill
be
it.
out there. We will.
Good luck.
You coming out?
I
Come
will
have
not
a drink
be.
at 5?
I will not be.
You have a new truck. We got to see it.
Maybe next week.
Oh, damn it. All right,
Yeah.
Ryan.
Is it the same truck I saw?
Can't be because he doesn't have it.
I don't have it, so no.
You're driving a different truck then?
Today?
No, at Copper.
It's probably the
Was
same
it
one.
the
as-
red one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my in-laws truck.
Oh, okay.
When you
So you were still driving.
when you're waiting to get a new truck, you always drive your mother-in-law's
I didn't know
truck,
you were
don't
waiting to get a
Really?
truck.
Yeah. You just steal one from the farm.
He does. He does know that you're
Yeah.
waiting, but it's fine.
I do know now.
Didn't we talk about it at golf?
You said he's getting one. I didn't know that he was waiting to get one. I thought he had got one that day.
No, that's
already.
the whole
Tomorrow.
new car dilemma out there is you can't
You
get
have
in.
to wait.
You have to wait.
I have to wait.
And
But
Tomorrow.
luckily,
tomorrow.
mine came in 2 weeks early, so
Tomorrow.
I wasn't expecting till
Tomorrow.
9 a.m.
So,
Tomorrow.
cars and golf. As
Trucks.
always, everybody.
Trucks. I'm getting
Trucks.
a truck.
Like I said, you're just a truck guy living in a Sonata body.
You know, and there was a Camry before that, and an Acura before that. So, like, finally,
It's just a Sonata world that you were living in.
Yes.
So as always, everybody, like, subscribe, follow, share. We appreciate any comments that you guys have. If you guys have interesting takes on the Zurich this week, always like to hear them. Next week for the draft, if you guys have your favorite pick, if you guys think that Thibodeau is going to go before Hutchison, if you guys think that one of these quarterbacks is worthy to go in this top 10 or a couple are supposed to go in this first round, we'd like to hear
hands
it.
are big enough.
Hope their arms strong enough. Hope they
they're
can
not-
run faster than the tackles.
Right.
All of the above. But as always, everybody, thank you. We appreciate it. Till next week.
Deuces.
It's time.